Hello, PUBG fans. Godspeed here with a very special guest here in beautiful, sunny Santa Monica. It is Relo. Relo, what's going on?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Not much. So we brought you here, obviously, as one of our best teams and one of the best players we've had in the States for basically the last, I'd say 4 years more competitively when you kind of started with Oath, but really your journey began in Endemic. And so what I want to know is, why PUBG? What got you into this game? How'd you get involved? And we'll go from there.
Wow, that goes way back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when the Battle Royale era, like where PUBG, H1Z1, Fortnite, all that stuff came out. I was a big lover of the game and the genre. I started on PUBG for I played that game for 6 months, this PUBG for about 6 months. I transitioned through all the Battle Royales, and then when Sandhawk came out, because it's a lot fast-paced, and I was a big Battlefield player in the back in the day, so fast-paced FPS games, I loved it. So when Sandhawk came out, that's when I got really hardcore into PUBG. And then Face It came out for PUBG, like a competitive client, allowing for competitive scrim matches and just whatnot. Got into that and playing in GLL, the online tournaments, and that kind of introduced me into competitive PUBG. I remember being 18 years old and no job, just making $300 a weekend. I was like, wow, I can make money doing this, and telling my family and how shocked they were. And just performing well in those tournaments kind of just got me, I guess, an eye out for me from better teams and whatnot. Kind of transitioned to a different team. We qualified for contenders during MPL, that era, and then doing well on those teams individually. Doing well on those teams, got me onto Endemic, which brought me into MPL, and that was just the beginning of my career.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good starting point as well for me to ask the next question, because I remember you. I even remember specifically Los at the time when we were building our team. We were looking at you and Tig, who were very much unknowns back in the day. But talk to me a little bit about Endemic, the process that got you into joining that team, on top of the fact of just kind of the change, right? Like you said, you were 18 years old. It was a very new experience for you to kind of travel and play a game for a living, so to speak. So what was that whole experience like? What did your parents feel about it, and how did you feel about it?
It was pretty surreal. As a kid who just loved games, the idea of it being your job it's a little life-changing. It's definitely unusual, and I was very introverted. I still am to this day. It was a big lifestyle change. Just making money for the first time. I never had a job before, and finally having income and doing it through playing PUBG. And just the environment of esports, being on a stage, playing games, being in the MPL big time was just a huge step for me. I remember, when I broke into the scene and being contenders and seeing all the teams on the stage in Redondo Beach and whatnot, and I was just I want to be there. I want to be in the MPL. No matter how scared I was, when I finally got the opportunity, how scared I was of the cameras and the public speaking and everything. But it's a part of the gig, and it's really been just an awesome opportunity, and I'm so blessed to have the things that I do now, and I'm forever thankful for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming from just being kind of a no-name player, going through the Face It system, and then finally getting a shot in contenders, getting promoted to Endemic, that kind of leads us to Oath, right? And that was actually the peak of COVID. So talk to me a little bit about Oath, and then talk to me a little bit about Wolf too, because obviously he was pretty instrumental, I'd say, in your growth as a player, especially giving you that opportunity on Endemic.
Oath was, I would say, during the COVID era was peak. I loved Oath. Oath was also I think my peak as an individual player, although I really have grown over the years and whatnot. That was definitely peak era for me, especially individually. That was when I was still kind of a star fragger on my team while simultaneously calling. We had a lot of success in the PCS series, PCS Charity, PCS 1, 2, 3, all those. And then our PCS 5, that was our big regional win. That was my first major tournament win, and it was huge. Wolf, big throwback. Wolf was one of my best friends, and I still would consider him a great friend till this day. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I love the guy. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about just the deeper sides of the game rather than just fragging,
Surface
shooting my
level.
gun. Just a lot of just deeper things, and that whole team in general. I remember my friend Crispy or something, the Endemic era as well. And then Shinboy and my teammate Snakers now, we're almost 6 years deep. Oh my God, dude.
So actually, yeah, that's a really good segue. So now, obviously, you've been on multiple orgs since then. I mean, E United, LG. Now you guys are currently with the Falcons, who you're very happy with. My question, though, is during that long period of time, you've had various teammates, like you said, Shimboy, Wolf, you've had Balefrost, now Flood, and obviously now Roth. But my question is, you and Snakers, you and Jake have been together, like you said, at this point for almost 6 years. So talk to me a little bit about your relationship with him. Talk to me about how he is as a teammate and what kept you guys going so strong as essentially the duo that's been running the orgs that you've been in.
Oh, man. We definitely go way back. I would say Jake is Snakers. I would say we're
friends, yeah.
you know, 6 years now. I would say Jake and I are like polar opposites, personality-wise. Come from completely different sides of the spectrum, backgrounds. He was a little bit of a.
You don't have to tell me, brother.
There's some things that I could say about the early days of Snakers, but he's grown a lot, and we go way back. We've developed each other as players. I feel like we've kind of I think I humbled him a little bit, personality-wise, and we've had humbling experiences, performances internationally, very humbling. But he was also probably the best player that I've played with.
Sure.
When we first started playing together, he was by far just the best that I'd played with. So I learned a lot from him as well. But I contribute a lot of my success, especially regionally, to him. He's a fantastic player.
But here we go.
Stay low. The wraparound is going to get caught. TSM eliminated, but they got 15 kills. Or rather, Falcons did. It's all chaos at the end, but it's a final 1 versus 1, and Relo is going to secure it. High kill game for Falcons.
Bro.
All right. So, next question. I mean, realistically, you've already accomplished a lot in the scene, right? You've been able to go to multiple international majors. You guys have obviously won regionals. And I know the goal is obviously to not only make it to PGC, but win PGC. But what exactly do you see for yourself in the future for PUBG? What exactly are your goals besides just winning a PGC?
Persevering throughout the hard times, because we've had a lot of struggles internationally, and staying motivated and dealing with just, I guess, apathy just regarding competition in general, and staying motivated and working to, redeem ourselves when we go to those international tournaments. And I want to make sure that myself especially can, work to overcome the struggles that I have with, pressure, and, utilizing my experience that I have, I have years of experience, and I want to be able to utilize that properly, and really show like what myself and my team are capable of, at an event that really does matter.
Right.
That's a big goal of mine, because we really have failed to do so recently, and I really want to redeem ourselves. But outside of that, I think it's just in esports in general, there's a lot of uncertainty, so I don't really know like an in-depth future, but yeah, that's my goals are just to do better.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's all you can do, right? Especially as an individual, when you're on a team with other people, you guys are there to uplift each other. So, yeah, you guys haven't had the best results recently as far as internationally, but I still believe in you guys. I know you guys believe in yourselves. You obviously have a lot of fans out there that are rooting for you guys. So I think it'll happen. Just, yeah, persevere, keep going, man. And so kind of leads me to my final question, which, what, if any, changes would you like to see in PUBG esports within the next year or two?
I think something that PUBG could benefit from, especially on the esports side, would be more community collaboration. Something you see in other games like Counter-Strike and whatnot is just like community skins and cosmetics that, especially for like esports teams, it really does support the community in general and esports teams and players, and other like small creators, like people that you see online, just like just fan art, skins and whatnot you see for people like Tiggleton and big teams and big players. I think we could really benefit from stuff like that.
Okay. What about any specific gameplay changes? Because obviously over the last 2 years even, we've had things like Panzerfaust, which are wildly either popular or unpopular with players, depending on who you ask. The gliders, the introduction of Rondo. How do you even feel about Rondo? Because I've actually heard that overall, I think the majority of the pro players actually like the terrain and overall like most aspects of the map, but kind of hate it for pubbing?
I had mixed feelings about Rondo because it was actually something we were struggling with. I've put a lot more work into it, us as a team have in general, so I think we've improved on it drastically. Overall, I'd say positive now. At the beginning, not a big fan, but I think that's kind of the way every player and team thought about every map being introduced to Vikendi with bears and stuff. Every map has their nicks and necks, but overall, I'd say positive now. For other changes, I think there's been a lot already. A lot of really quick changes between all the meta changes. Mortars, panzers, gliders, blue zone packs. Emergency pickups, all kinds of blue zone nades. Yeah, exactly. Just so many different things that have been introduced to the game that even if they're small, they really do make huge meta changes. And staying current with those things can be kind of difficult, especially if you're not putting in 8 to 10 hours a day, which maintaining a healthy work-life balance is already difficult enough. And making sure that you're not washing out and staying on top of your game is really important. So I think maybe slowing down on the changes could be good and just letting everyone else catch up. But I guess gotta outwork people. So.
Yeah, true. Well, again, Relo, thanks for coming down, man. I'm sure we'll probably go get some meat at the pier, maybe ride a little roller coaster, who knows. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This has been Godspeed with Relo, and we'll see you on the next one.